Alex, get fuming. Good evening and welcome back to the Cheltenham Exchange. We're back again with our first sort of preview for the season, isn't it? First meeting preview.
Yeah.
Cheltenham Showcase Meeting coming up at the weekend, Friday, Saturday. Boys are all very excited. So, be good to get stuck into things. As you can see, we've got a semi-full crew. No Matty, unfortunately, tonight. Shake of heads. But there we go. We've got obviously we've got Alex, we've got Jonny, and we've got. I'm gonna change your name here because I heard him referred to as the Grim Rainer during the week. I thought that's gotta stick. That's far better than Boss Man. The Grim Rainer, Ian Rainer. He's all excited for tonight. He's got his school uniform on ready.
I know. I've been in the Cheltenham Exchange office today, so.
What, building it?
Yeah. Me and Maureen sorting out some things, so.
Can you build a website at the same time, Ian?
Oh.
Don't mention that. Nearly there.
Coming soon.
Coming soon, yeah. So yes, showcase meeting upcoming Friday, Saturday. The boys have been having a look. Declarations for Friday's racing was by 10 a.m. this morning, was it? So
yeah,
we've got an idea of the cards for Friday. Saturday declarations won't be out until tomorrow morning, as we're recording this on Wednesday evening. So Saturday still looks an utter minefield. So we may. Well, we won't be going into as much detail because we don't really know what's running, but the lads will have a chat through anything that catches the eye that may be worth keeping an eye out for if they do run. So, before we get into it, a quick mention, a quick thank you to Connor at Racing Pins for his continued support. Alex is going to flash the pin. Flash the pin, Alex. Look at that. Oh. Wonderful. Beautiful. So, check out Racing Pins on Twitter and their website and so on. They've got one we haven't. Say no more. And, we'll...
Sorry, I've just on mute. If anyone wants one of these, the first person to send Ian a message on Twitter saying they want one, he'll send one too. So, have a race.
Okay.
Good idea.
You have to refer to him as the Grim Rainer.
Yeah.
Or call him a prick, either way.
Oh. I'll take either.
Well done.
Well, the first one to let us know where Matty is.
Yeah. Where's Matty?
He's hiding
I'm
somewhere.
glad you unmuted then, Al. I thought your arm had gone into shock and
gone in spasm.
Right, okay. So how are we all doing, boys, anyway? Everything all right?
Yeah, very much good, thank you.
OJ? We had a nice weekend watching the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh, you were at Wembley on Sunday, weren't you?
Yeah, and the prices for a pint make Cheltenham look cheap. It was £8.35 for a can. Cheltenham's £7.80 for a pint.
That's ridiculous.
I won't complain ever again.
Disgrace.
I will complain.
It was either that or drinking Bud.
It was still £8.35 for a Bud.
Terrible.
So Friday, you'll be paying £7.80 a pint at the track, will you, Al, on Friday?
Well, I'm sure I'll have a few at the maybe the Plough or the Oak before, and then a few at the Plough and the Oak afterwards. So try and save my pennies where I can.
Excellent. Jonny, you going down?
Not this time, mate. Down for November for the 3 days, so saving myself for then.
Good. Grim Rainer, November.
I'll be there Saturday with my free ticket. Yeah, the four of us going.
Out for now. Right. Okay, so Friday. first day of racing at Cheltenham of the current National Hunt season. We've picked out 4 main races to have a good look at, where the lads have got a selection each. So we'll run through those races, and then we'll have a quick chat about whether there's anything else on the card at all that you fancy on Friday, and then probably a far briefer chat about anything that takes your eye on Saturday. So, glasses applied. Friday's racing at Cheltenham, and the first race we're going to be looking at is the Novice Chase at 150 over 2 miles. Path de Route at the top of the market for Mr. Cromwell, who absolutely cleaned up at various Cheltenham meetings last year, I think, didn't he? So I think Path de Route is currently around 6 to 5 even money. Only 5 runners, which is slightly disappointing. Jonny, do you want to kick us off with this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's not original, to be honest, but I can't see past the favourite, really, despite the price. So he's probably not a bet, is he? But I know he's 0 from 10 over fences, but he hit the bar on quite a lot of occasions last year. And he did race in some of these big Irish handicaps where they're very competitive. And there's a couple in there that's always, hiding themselves from the handicapper, isn't it? So I think he's carrying bottom weight in this. He's got bags of experience. Obviously, he raced on the track last year here, didn't he? I just think he'll win. I am interested, though, also in how Jazzy Matty runs. Obviously, he's got some form over hurdles as well, hasn't he, here, with a win in the Boodles a couple of years back. So I think he's a big price, actually. I think he was 14th, 16th. So I know it's only 2 places, but it might be worth, having him to follow home the favourite. So, but I think the favourite will take the beating. I know Alex isn't keen on it, but I think it'll win.
Lovely, thank you, Jonny. Yeah, well, if you can get two places, we might be lucky, because I actually, when I had a quick look before, I think the Elliott horse in there, I noticed is entered up tomorrow at Clonmel.
Really?
So I'm guessing if it runs at Clonmel tomorrow, then we could be down to 4 runners in this race, possibly.
That's poor, isn't it? Really, first race of the season.
Yeah, ain't great. I mean, quick look at I haven't got time to have a quick look. But yeah, he had an entry at Clonmel tomorrow anyway. So, Ian, moving swiftly on to.
Yeah, I'm the same with Jonny. I'll let Alex explain, and he can have his fume in a second. But you can. It was just, as the guys were saying, well, as Jonny was saying, there's 5 runners, and then the people that wonder why we've got small fields, and the Irish come over, and my Paulie's pots up. I think the pot is 20,000 for this race. But yeah, let's say as Jonny was saying, he's got a rating of 144. I think he's 11. 11-4. Keith Donoghue on, ran in the Grand Daniel, the festival, and the Red Rum, so he has got that experience in these sort of races. And as you guys said, 6-5 at a minute, and possibly could go shorter if the Elliott horse comes out. But yeah, so not very original, but yeah, Path de Route for me as well.
Path de Route for both the boys. Yeah, just having a quick look while you were chatting there. She Could Be Anything was the Elliott horse, and it's currently odds-on favourite in the 4:13 at Clonmel tomorrow, which is already only a 4-runner race. So yeah, we could well be down to 4 runners in this. Alex, get fuming.
I'll be honest, OJ, I've just got no interest in this race at all. I mean, Path de Route, fine, 6-5, probably is the best horse in the race. But like Jonny said, he's 0 from 10. 0 from 10 for a reason. He ran twice this time last year and was beating a combined 100 lengths. And that was just in Novice Chase. It wasn't a big competitive handicap. I've just got no interest in him at that price. And I don't particularly like any other horses. I probably have a quid on the day, or a couple of quid on Jazzy Matty, just because I put him up for the Boodles when he won that a couple of years ago. So he doesn't owe me anything. But other than that, I've just got no interest in the race, really.
No, that's fair enough.
I'm good at Matty just being miserable.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, there's no point in trying to push anything out, especially when it is such a small field. So we'll move on from there. Path through for Jonny and Ian, favourite, but probably unlikely to be much of a price. So we'll move on to the 225 race, which was 2 mile handicap chase. Dancing on My Own, I think, won this race last year on the Saturday at a nice price, I think, wasn't it? Double odds, couple of pounds higher in the handicap this year, but yeah, Mr. de Bromhead, I would imagine, is bringing him over for a reason. So, Alex, do you want to kick us off here?
Yeah, I quite fancy one here. It's Dan Skelton's Calico. He's off £1 lower than when he was second at Cheltenham in over 2 miles in November. He's also been second here in October 22. So, I mean, clearly likes the course. I'd quite like to see Harry go forward on him as well. I think the races where he performs best, he seems to be running from the front and sort of jumping into submission, really. His only 2 wins have actually ever been on good ground as well, so he'll appreciate the going. He's 13-2, which I think is actually quite a decent each way price as well. So that's where my money will be going on Calico.
Calico for Alex, lovely. We like it when Alex is confident on one. Jonny, 225.
Yeah, I like the one that you said, actually, OJ, and you said quite a lot of what I was going to say, and that's Dancing on My Own. When I looked this afternoon, I noticed he was 13-2 because I made a note of it here. He's now down to 9-2 on Bet365. So obviously the money's come for him, hasn't it? But yeah, he won, like you said, he won the race last year off a similar mark. And he's still on still on terms with Triple Trade, who finished just behind him last time. So I think also Triple Trade could probably run a good race as well. Carries top weight in this. Last ran in August when he won at Ballinrobe, so he hit a bit of form then. And also I had a quick look today that Henry's form looking quite good. Henry's yard, looking quite good form at the moment. In the last week or so, they've had 4 winners from nine runners. He's got a few running tomorrow as well that might be worth keeping an eye out. So he's obviously got them well, and I think that'll help as well. So I think Dancing on My Own will take quite a bit of beating in it.
Nice. Okie dokie. And we've got, of course, Matata. When I had a look earlier, I'm sure Matata was favourite earlier on. Who was, of course, was he third in the Arkle last year? And Gaelic Warrior ran in the Arkle anyway, didn't he?
It's still favourite on my screen, OJ.
Oh, okay.
He was fourth, OJ. Fourth in the Arkle.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you, Jonny. So, Jonny with Dancing on My Own. Ian?
Well, I'm going to go with an old favourite and a horse that ran in this race last year that was second, and it's Triple Trade. Cobden in Tizard. Has a good record at the track. So he won, and so he was second behind Dancing on My Own last season. I wonder, he was had quite, I think he was low in the festival, a low position, but I wonder if the ground was a factor. Probably a better go on better going. It's got to wait to 10.10. Official rating of 135, so he's come down £3 from the run at the festival. Best price around 7-1. So I'm looking for Triple Trade to take on Dancing on My Own and reverse the form if possible.
Lovely. Triple Trade for Ian. So we've got 3 different selections there, boys. Calico for Alex, which he's pretty keen on. Jonny with Dancing on My Own, and Ian with Triple Trade. Triple Trade, I guess you'll be looking with a bit more interest at Path Through, because didn't they come up against each other? I'm sure they did at Aintree when I was at Aintree in April, and possibly another race as well.
Good friend to form, OJ.
Never know. Okie dokie. 3 o'clock. The Sharp Novices Hurdle. Over 2 mile. What we got in here? Oh, Gail Marler. Odds on, what's he won? 6 on the trot or something for Mr. Keatley?
Yeah.
Okay, go on then, Ian.
Well, it's not very original, but I think she's and she's 11-8 at the minute, best price. I think she'll have the beaten Elise. Official rated at 135. I think she still gets £1 from Brave Knight and Nichols, but she loses the £7 because of the other horse is a 4-year-old and she's a 5-year-old. She won a listed race at Galway in July, so she has the £3 penalty for that. She's still got £1 in hand, and as you said, OJ, she's won her last 6. I think she still have to beat Elise, so not very original. Yes, she's odds on. I wonder if there might be a drift or you might get a boost on the day. But yeah, so Gail Marler for me, the mare.
Doesn't it's not the most inspirational race, is it?
No,
really? Again, quite a disappointing field.
Mm.
Ian, when she won that race in Galway, didn't she beat one of your favourite horses who was in second?
I'm just going to check.
Don't worry, I'm not going to confused.
Lecoq Hardy, eh? By 10 lengths.
I was a quick look at Gail Marler earlier on today, and to be fair, those 6 wins on the trot. But if you look at the RPRs are quite are getting progressively better and better, and are way better than anything else in this race. So,
well, she's gone up.
She was kind of progression.
Her last win from Galway, she had a rated of 123 and is now 135. So she's gone up a hell of a lot, but still with £1 in hand.
Yeah. This is the race won last year by Lookaway, which Mr. Myers put us onto, wasn't it?
Yes.
Had a decent season.
Yeah, I put that one up.
Alex, anything inspirational in this?
I quite fancy another Skelton horse. I'm going to go with Valgrand. He was second here to the Kemble Brewery in the October bumper, and then he was 4th in the Grade 2 bumper at Aintree at the end of the season. He's had 2 spins over hurdles through the summer, both times staying on really well at the finish. So, I mean, I can see him being very strong up the hill. I think 11-2 I've just seen you can get in places, and some places are 7-2. I think that's quite a nice play for me. So, I'll have a sneaky go on him, to be honest.
Nice. Jonny?
Yeah, like I'm saying with Ian again here, very interested in the mare from the Keighley Yard. Already won 4 hurdle races this year, obviously, like it's been mentioned, as well as the 2 bumpers before that. I mean, if she's got any chance, if you're looking ahead to the sort of mare's hurdle further down the line, or mare's novice hurdle, I think she's about 25-1. So if she wins, she'd need to be winning this to be considered for that later in the year, wouldn't she? But it might be worth having a few quid for that, beforehand, just in case she absolutely dots up in this. And like you say, she has been improving quite a lot. Of the others, I'm just interested. There's a couple of flat horses down the bottom there, isn't there? Imaginarium and Dancing in Paris. Just be interesting to see how they get on off the flat. I think they were only rated high 80s, but you never know. One of them's an Ian Williams horse, and you never know with him, do you? You might have trained that one well over hurdles, and it could be something half decent. So yeah, I won't be putting any money on them, but definitely worth keeping an eye on those sort of horses.
Watch the markets if it's trained by Ian Williams, eh?
Yeah, just in case there's a bit of cash on the day.
Okay, cheers, boys. So Gail Marler for Ian and Jonny, currently odds on, and Alex is with Valgrand for Mr. Skelton at a nice price. Lovely. Okay, we're going to skip the amateur riders chase minefield, I think, for now. I think it may get touched on after. But the next race we were going to look at was the 2.5 mile novice hurdle at 4:10. Who have we not started? Back round to Alex again, I reckon. Here is it.
Yes, okay. I'll be honest, OJ, I spent ages looking at this race and I didn't particularly fall in love with anything at the top of the market. I did find one a sneaky price towards the bottom of the market, which I think might be worth a little each way poke. And that's, I might have a trouble pronouncing this. I might need Jamie Wren's help, but I think it's pronounced Out and Haran. Trained by Patrick Neville, 33-1. He's had one start for Patrick Neville, and he absolutely bolted up in a very poor race at Perth. He did absolutely batter them, though. Didn't get a very high RPR for it. It's just one that I think he could be anything. And the fact that they're willing to chuck him in at this level straight away, I'd be happy to have a little go. I might even try and find somewhere where I can get like enhanced places, take a slightly lower price with 365 or something, 4 places. But I mean, still 8 runners in there at the moment, so you would get 3 places. So that's my angle at the race. I didn't particularly like anything too strong at the top, so I thought I'd try and find something towards the bottom. So yeah, Out and Haran for me, please.
Lovely. Is that the same silks as the real Whacker? Is it?
Yes,
I think yeah.
Real Whacker silks. Ooh. Go on, then, Ian.
Well, the one I'm about to pick up was the favourite. I'm just looking at the live details now for the Racing Post, and the Elliott horse is the favourite now. But one I like the look of is Potter's Charm, which is Sam and Nigel Twiston Davis. Best price around 7-4. Won a bumper at Fosslas and then won the maiden hurdle at Worcester. The only concern I may have is that the wins have been on soft and heavy, but I think he's won a point to point on like yielding goodish ground. So I think that won't be an issue. There's one at the distance as well, which is one of the factors I picked it out at 2 mile forward. Some of these have previously won at 2 miles, so that could be a big factor. But yeah, I'll go with Potter's Charm for Twiston Davises.
Twiston Davis, and there's I don't know, I haven't looked over the last week or so, but the stable was going well right at the start of the season, so I don't know what their form's, whether it's still holding up, but they were in fine form. Lovely. Thank you, Ian. Jonny, finish it off for us.
Yeah, like Alex, I've sort of shied away from the top of the market as well. Tried to find something down in the doldrums there, and I came across the other one that's hard to say, Cheltenham, which is 14-1 as well. It's the one of John McConnell's there. Irish Raider won this race last year in Canto Bruno. McConnell doesn't normally waste shots, does he? When he sends one over, they're normally like ready to go. I think the joint favourite at the top of the market, aren't they? The one that Ian liked and the Elliott horse, 7-4. I think they're quite short, really. This one should be race fit. Had a race 35 days ago. Won a maiden hurdle in Sligo a couple of months back. So yeah, it's just a bit of an each way dart, this one. It's nothing strong, but I just fancy, with the profile of the horse and with those two too short in the market, there's obviously some value in the each way market in this race. So 14-1 looks a fair price.
14-1, very nice. Just having a quick look then when you mentioned the prices, because certain bookies haven't priced anything up yet. But that one of Alex is 33-1 at Willie Hills. It's a nice price. I could get the coffee jar open for that one, Ian. What do you reckon?
He's out, OJ.
50p each way.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, boys. Right, okay. Well, we'll have a quick recap on those 4 races on Friday. Alex didn't have anything in the 150. 225 like Calico for Dan Skelton. Another Skelton horse in the 3 o'clock, Val Grand. And a very nicely priced 33-1 called... Go on,
OJ. You can do it. Give it a go. Give it a go, OJ.
Ailton Karain or something.
I think it's
like that.
Altan Karan or Haran or something.
Karan. Oh, the Irish be up.
Jamie.
Be all over us. Thank you, Alex. Ian, Path-Through, favourite in the 150, Triple Trade in the 225, Gail Marler, and Potter's Charm. And for Jonny, also Path-Through, Dancing on My Own for Mr. de Bromhead, Gail Marler again, and Cheltenham, something like that.
Yeah,
lovely. That's excellent, boys. Thank you very much. So before we go looking at Saturday, we obviously skipped a few races. Anything else take your eyes? Obviously, we've got is it handicap hurdle, the opening race 115. Alex, did you say there was something that you fancied in the opener?
Yeah, there is. He's quite a big price as well. It's Deep Cave.
Oh, no way.
No, is that what you like as well, Johnny?
That's
Yeah,
that's mad, that.
33 to 1. He's trained by Christian Williams. He had some really nice form in Ireland before he then went over to France. Had a second behind, on hurdle debut, second behind Absolute Notions, beating 3 lengths. This is when he was trained by Henry de Bromhead. Then won at Leopardstown. Had horses like Lot of Joy, Firm Footings behind him, built by Ballymore, who went off, I think, favourite for the Coral this year. Was it that race? Won a small price for something. Then was 5th at the DRF in the race that Goodland won over 2 mile 6. He's only beaten 4.5 lengths that day as well. Then he sort of ran no sort of race at Ferry House following time. But since then, he then went to France, had 5 runs, started off over fences, won first time, then fell twice. Then he had most recently had a win over hurdles, and now he's gone to Christian Williams. I mean, he's off a marker 132, and I think that Irish form stacks up to be, he should be off way higher than 132 to me. I mean, it's his first run for Christian Williams, so he might not perform particularly at his best first time out, but I mean, 33 to 1 for a horse that I think is probably, well, considerably better than his handicap mark. I'm going to get stuck in. And I like it that Johnny liked it as well. We both found it
even better. That's what I was just about to say. Where else can we go now? But Johnny, go on, Johnny.
Well, yeah, I only just noticed before about him, to be honest, and he's been in my tracker for absolutely ages. And I think it's going back to the old point-to-point dossier days is where I got it from originally. And then, like Alex said, he's like very sort of lightly raced, isn't he? He's been moved around all over the place, and at that price, he's, it's definitely worth a few quid each way, really, isn't he? So, yeah, I like it. Alex has put all the facts out there, so let's have it.
Fantastic. And a top Welsh trainer, Christian Williams. Our mate Phil Daniel, he'll be all over that one. Well, tell us what you think, Phil. Get it in the comments. Ian, follow that.
Right, I'm going to play a clip, OJ. I spoke to friend of the show, Declan Carroll.
Oh, I think we may be moving on here, aren't we, to a different race? Yeah.
Oh, okay. 3:35. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's the minefield, isn't it? It's the amateur jockeys.
Yes.
Over 3
so I messaged him to see what his thoughts about. I noticed the horse, and so I asked him how to pronounce the horse's name. I said, "Can you do it in a Cockney accent, like for me?" So look, hopefully everyone can hear it. So I'll play this.
No worries, bud. It's Ciandana, or as you might say, fucking Ciandana.
So it's fucking Ciandana, as Dick has said.
You've still managed to say it wrong.
I know. Ciandana, I think that's how he said it.
Ian spent all day listening to that voice note.
I know the point. So obviously we've got Mick, who I think Johnny knows Mick. He's the West. He does a lot of West Ham stuff, and he's part of the How's Your Father syndicate as well with Deck. The horse has had a very, very good summer. I think he's won 3 out of his 5 races. One last time out at Sligo. He's been over different distances, 2 miles and over hurdles and fences, and he's won at this distance at 3 mile 1. I also asked him about Lee Shanahan, who's the amateur jockey on board. He takes 7 off. He said that he's Ross O'Sullivan's point-to-point jockey, and he's definitely one to keep an eye on for the future. I think his best price 71, 7 to 1.
71.
But I'll go with Ciandana for the guys in the 3:35.
Excellent. Thank you, Ian. Breaking news for us there. Jockeys to follow and everything. Superb. So
you can do a route for us, Ian.
Ciandana
are you going to do a route for us, Ian?
A route? Oh no, not for him. Especially he's been running in the summer. But probably 3 mile chases to keep an eye on.
Lovely. So Ciandana in the 3:35.
Yeah.
So good luck to Deck and the rest of the syndicate, whatever happens. Yeah, it's one of Johnny's old favourites in here, Jimmy the Digger.
Yeah. Do you know what, OJ? I was just looking at him. He's dropped £17 in the handicap, so he's definitely on a winnable mark. Obviously,
And-
one course and distance before. Get him back
He's-
each way.
He won this race 2 years ago.
There you go. Off
Yeah.
1,
Jimmy.
2, 115. So he's down to 110.
Yeah,
Got to have a chance.
got to have a chance. Lovely. Last race, it's that conditional jockeys handicap hurdle.
Auckland
Anything in there,
Risk in there,
boys?
an old favourite from Matty.
Oh, Oaken Risk.
Yeah, so I've just seen the favourite, Fiercely Proud, has got a jockey, Callum Pritchard, takes 10 off. So taking down to about 11.3. He's 5-2 favourite at the minute. But yeah, that could be, as it's conditional jockeys, could be a bit of a minefield, especially this time in the season.
Lovely. Okay, well, a couple of little bonuses there. So Kiandana freeing in a 335 and Alex and Johnny both all over Deep Cave in the opener. Massive 33-1. Coffee jar's definitely getting raided for that. Okay, we're happy to move over to Saturday, boys.
Yeah,
We'll give it a go.
We'll give it a go. As we say, the picture will become a lot clearer tomorrow morning, I'm sure. But yeah, I know Ian had one in here that he fancied in the second race, was it? I noticed he.
yes.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to have a chat about what you fancy Saturday first?
I can do. It's another Cromwell horse. So I think he's come over here for a reason to raid all the pots. And the horse is called Millforce. Currently about 4-1. Recently second behind the Mullins horse Lucky in the City, beaten a short head. So I can't see the 3 mile one distance being much of an issue. He has run a lot over the point-to-point circuit, and I think he won a maiden hurdle recently at Bellewstown. So again, that's one of the factors with the horses in this race. He has won and gone the distance where some of the others haven't. I think especially Intense Approach, which is the John McConnell favourite. I don't think he's gone the distance. So that was the main factor for me in picking Millforce.
Millforce. I'm pretty sure our friend Ginger's very keen on that one. I thought I heard him talking about that last night at some point. Alex, you got anything that really took your eye out Saturday?
An old favourite of mine, well, not old favourite, but a current favourite of mine, Broadway Boy in a 220. He's 3 from 4 at the course. In the race he didn't when he was second, and it was this time last year, second to Flooring Porter, who proved recently that on a going day he's still a very good horse. After those 3 wins at Cheltenham early this year, at the beginning of last season, he ran no sort of race at Warwick, and they found out afterwards. I mean, he scoped dirty. Yeah, really terribly apparently, and then ran no real race at Aintree. To be honest, I know he's carrying a big weight, but when he won one of his races here at Cheltenham in December, he was off a mark of 146. He's only off 149 now, and I think, to be honest, when I watched that race back, it looked like he probably had plenty in hand then as well, and he'd run 3 times in the space of about 7 weeks. So, hoping he gets back on track. 5-1, I think, is too big a price for him. So, yeah, happy to be parting with my money for him.
Broadway Boy, making all from the front.
Hopefully. I've got one in this race as well, OJ.
Sorry, mate.
I've got one in this race as well, the 220.
Okay. Well, it won't be Alex's.
Oh, my.
Well, the big thing I noticed, the horse is some scope, official rated of 126. And what made me notice is Gavin Sheehan is on board and he's carrying 10 stone 2. And that's very, very, very low. So obviously he must fancy it to try and get to that sort of low weight. I think he's gone down. He's won at the distance over class 3 and class 4. I believe he's gone down a pound since he was 4th here at Cheltenham in April. I think he was behind a Fergal horse, Man of the People and Stumptown on that day. I've just made a note that obviously what Alex was saying about Broadway Boy, he should be the class horse in the race, but it's a hell of a lot of weight to carry. And I just thought at 8-1, some scope could be an interesting play on the day.
Lovely. Alternative selection for Ian. Jonny, have you got anything in that race that you like then?
I've got a couple on the day. I've got going back to the 145 first. There's one that I've made a note of here. If he runs, and that's Sleeve Hill for DJ Jeffries, our old friend. It's just an interesting one, really. He's 7 years old and he's literally raced in P2Ps, as Ian says, for most of his career. And then amongst that, he had one bumper run at Fairy House where he was fourth behind that Jeroboam Machan and DB Cooper, which both, Jeroboam Machan was decent last year. Did he get injured in the end and missed Cheltenham? I think
so. Yeah.
But that looked a decent bumper, and it's just on that form, really. So if he runs here, it's just an interesting one that he's 7, making his debut now. So that was me one in the 145. The 220, just jumping forward onto that one. The handicapper to follow I picked is running in this one. That's Your Own Story for Lucinda. So I've obviously got to mention that one. Off 130, carrying 10 stone 6 at present. Obviously, that might change if some come out tomorrow on declarations, but it goes pretty well fresh, so maybe worth a chance. Whether it's this race they're aiming for, who knows? But I've got to put that one down, haven't I? With it being one of my 2 handicappers to follow this season, so it's good. Definitely. It popped up.
Lovely. There's obviously a Pertemps qualifier. It'd be interesting to see that race, with it being the first one where the winner gets a guaranteed spot at the festival, won't it? Be interesting to see tomorrow what kind of numbers get declared. We speculated a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, that whether people will be entering up, trying to win early and then get those marks back down before March.
There's some good names in this, OJ. You got an Alex favourite in Churchstone Warrior at the minute. You got Emmy Tom, Botox Haas, Beacon Edge, Gal Road. I think especially Gal Road ran in the Pertemps last season. But yes, if a lot of them all go in, vying for this automatic qualifier, as you said, it could be a good race, one of the races of the day.
Yeah, it could be interesting. Botox Haas is, what was he there? 152. I mean, if he were to win it, Christ, that's win it and then decide to go to the final, then
well, he can spend the rest of the season getting his mark down, can't he? Then so get qualified and then start tumbling down the weights.
But
running grade races.
The handicapper's going to be sitting there thinking, "I know what you're up to."
Yeah. Finish 50 lengths in a grade 1 somewhere behind or something.
Masterson's holding Hurdle Salver. I heard you boys somebody mentioned Salver earlier, and somebody was saying that I can't remember. I think it might have been on that Jack show last night. I think it might have been George Gorman was saying that the Moors absolutely love Salver. When they went at Christmas, they were more impressed than Nassalam winning the Welsh Nash, I think.
And Kalin's on board as well.
Yeah.
Another old friend.
Could be a good race. If a lot of them stay in it with Caliph de Burley and Bottler Secret. It could be a good one, that one. But again, as we've seen with the declarations for Friday, I reckon it'd be sure to go. I reckon you'll bet 6 or 7 again, sadly.
Yeah. As we say, we're recording this Wednesday night, so the decks will be tomorrow morning at 10 and the picture will become a lot clearer. Anything else on Saturday catch your eyes, boys, then at all, before I let you go?
Like Ian mentioned, then I quite like Caliph de Belay. I'd just be keen to see if he's progressed from his juvenile year. I thought he was quite impressive last year till he flopped in his last start, so be good to see if he's got him ready. The other one is, Alex probably mentioned it, it's in the bumper. It's got to be Fergal's, hasn't it? Jaeger time or Jaeger time.
We'll be on the Jaeger if it wins.
Yeah, it'd be on the Jaeger, definitely. So they always win, don't they? The Fergal ones in the bumper.
They've got a good strike in bumpers recently, haven't they?
Yeah, so it might be worth a few quid on that one.
Connor Brace on it as well. Good jockey. Concerned about the all this Nichols horses palaver everybody else is going on about when you're mentioning Khalif de Burley there? Does it bother you?
Don't know. It's very out of form
see
in
what
a
happens,
minute.
won't we? Has he had many winners in the recent days? I haven't really paid much attention, to be honest, this past week.
Let's have a quick look.
Can't have noticed, Johnny, but
he has had a couple of winners. He's had 2 winners in the last week. 3 winners in the last 7 days. So, yeah, there was a lot being made of it, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's just all these Chepstow, all these horses really disappointed. So it made you think whether there's, I don't know, something in the yard or if they're not fit. But yeah, see if it seems to be picking up. They might be back to normal slowly.
Lovely. Well, gents, we've been on air for how long? Just over 40 minutes. I don't think we need to hold people any longer. I'm going to stick you on the spot. You can give us your best bet for the weekend. I'm guessing they may be on Friday. But yeah, go on, Al. What's your one for the showcase meeting?
I'd love to go with the big price one, but I'll go with Calico.
Calico for Alex in the 150 on Friday, I think.
225.
225 Friday.
So the 150 is the race I had a bit of a moan about.
Of course it was. Yes, indeed. Johnny looks like he's trying to decide which is his best bet for the weekend. So I'll go to the Grim Rainer.
Go on.
I'll go with Potter's Charm in the 410.
Let's go for a short price favourite, playing it safe. Thank you, Ian. Johnny?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go against Alex and go with Dancing on My Own in the 225. Can't pick one of those odds-on favourites, can we? So, yeah.
Dancing on My Own to follow up for a second year. Lovely. Well, gents, if nobody has anything else to add, thank you very much for your time and excellent analysis. To everybody watching, or anybody watching, I shouldn't say everybody and assume, but anybody watching, hope you enjoy it. If you do, remember to like, comment, share, all that sort of stuff. Subscribe on YouTube. And yeah, any comments you may have about the racing, anything you fancy, stick it in the comments. Get the discussion going. And Ian might send you a badge. You never know. You might be in luck.
Or if you buy Alex a pint on Friday, he might give you a badge.
Or if you buy Alex a pint, yeah, definitely.
If you buy me a pint, I'll love you forever.
Lovely. So thanks for your time, chaps. That's it for now. We'll be back soon.